However, an Israeli defense official said the operation would not be launched before U.S. President Donald Trump concludes his visits next week to the Middle East. The decision, after weeks of faltering efforts to agree a ceasefire with Hamas, underlines the threats that a war heaping international pressure on Israel amidst dwindling public support at home could continue with no end in sight. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, in Gaza has said that Israel's proposed aid plan for the enclave contravenes humanitarian principles and puts civilians at risk. OCHA warned that the humanitarian situation in the Strip is worsening as Israel's aid blockade enters its ninth week. Israel's new offensive includes an aid distribution plan in which aid, which has been handled by international aid groups and UN organizations, would be transferred to private companies and handed out in the southern area of Rafah once the offensive begins. The UN said these
around not
Israel's ground and air campaign in Gaza has since killed more than 52,000 Palestinians, most of them civilians, according to local health authorities, and left much of Gaza in ruins. Pakistan has carried out a second missile test in 3 days on Monday after saying it was preparing for an incursion by India, as Moody's warned that the standoff over violence in Kashmir could set back Islamabad's economic reforms. Relations between the nuclear-armed neighbors have nosedived since gunmen killed 26 people on April 22nd in an attack targeting Hindu tourists in Indian Kashmir in the Baisaran Valley, near the town of Pahalgama, the worst such assault on civilians in India in nearly 2 decades. India has accused Pakistan of involvement. Islamabad has denied the allegations but said it has intelligence that New Delhi intends to launch military action against it soon. The diplomatic flare-up and exchanges of the small arms fire across the border in Kashmir have alarmed the world and regional powers. India's Interior Ministry has asked several states to conduct mock security drills on Wednesday to ensure civil preparedness.
Pakistan are at their highest in years. I deeply respect and I am profoundly grateful to the government of people of both countries and their significant contributions to the work of the United Nations, not least UN peacekeeping. And so it pains me to see relations reaching a boiling point. I understand the raw feelings following the awful terror attack in Pahalgam on 22 April. I once again strongly condemn that attack and extend my condolences to the families of the victims. Targeting civilians is unacceptable, and those responsible must be brought to justice through credible lawful means. It is also essential, especially at this critical hour, to avoid a military confrontation that could easily spin out of control. Now is the time for maximum restraint and stepping back from the brink. That has been my message in my ongoing outreach with both countries. Make no mistake, a military solution is no solution. And I offer my good offices to both governments in the service of peace. The United Nations stands ready to support any initiative that promotes de-escalation, diplomacy, and the renewed commitment to peace.
Residents of Chakoti, a village near the de facto border between Pakistan-administered and Indian-administered Kashmir, said they were living in uncertainty and fear on Monday as tensions between the two countries simmer. Relations between the nearly armed or nuclear-armed states have nosedived since gunmen killed 26 people on April 22nd in an attack targeting Hindu tourists in India, Kashmir, the worst such assault on civilians in India in nearly 2 decades. The Himalayan region of Kashmir lies at the heart of decades of hostility, opens new tab between Hindu-majority India and Islamist Pakistan, both of which claim it in full but rule it in part. Lisbon residents were uncertain on Monday about the outcome of the upcoming early election as an electoral campaign kicked off ahead of the snap general elections of May 18th. Portugal's governing centre-right Democratic Alliance, AD, extended its lead, though the projection showed was still falling short of a parliamentary majority. AD coalition leader Luis Montenegro's government failed to secure a vote of confidence from parliament after the opposition questions his integrity over the dealings of his family's consulting firm. He has denied any wrongdoing. A year ago, the AD won the national election with 28.8% of the votes, marginally above the socialists' 28%. While anti-immigration sentiment is expected to play in the elections, far-right party Chega has been treading water in opinion polls after a surge in the previous election last year when it came third and quadrupled its parliamentary representation. President Dina Boluarte said on Monday that mining in Peru's northern district of Patas will be suspended for 30 days. He disclosed this after 13 gold mine workers in the area were kidnapped and killed by illegal miners. Peru's government also plans to set up a military base and implement a curfew lasting from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the district. A miner, Pedrosa, said that the bodies of 13 workers were from a local firm which held a mining contract with him and had been recovered by the police after they were kidnapped last month. Pedrosa alleged that nearly 40 people, including contractors and artisanal miners, have been killed recently in Patas at the hands of criminal gangs. Since 2020, illegal miners have taken over several areas under Pedrosa's control. The area had already been under a state of emergency with heavy police and military presence due to prior attacks on Pedrosa's operations. Peru is the world's third largest copper producer, but the deposits of the red metal are largely in the south, with gold and silver mined in the north. Peru's Mining and Energy Minister George Montoro said the 30-day pause could be extended. The Ivorian Cardinal Ignace Bessie Dobo has said there is still no convergence on a new pope. He said this he headed towards an afternoon meeting with other cardinals to prepare the conclave. The 133 cardinals are holding near daily meetings to discuss issues facing the 1.4 billion member Catholic Church before the conclave, when they will be sequestered in a hotel and barred from contact with the outside world. While there are a few cardinals seen as front-runners to succeed Pope Francis, two often mentioned are Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin and Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. Many of them clerics who will vote have not made up their minds. As the cardinals are meeting this week in what are called general congregations, individual clerics can offer speeches to give their vision for the future of the global faith.
Hello, God bless you.
How is the preparation going for the conclave?
As the Holy Spirit leads us.
Will it be positive? Will it be quick?
We won't know. We need to listen to the Holy Spirit.
He didn't say anything just yet?
He's saying many things, but we need to listen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guten Tag, Eminence. Yeah. How are you today?
But he's there.
He is there?
Well, an Australian bishop is there.
He is there.
No.
You've said, oh good, we haven't seen him yet, that's all. We were getting worried.
Oh, no, he's all right.
Okay, and tell me how the conversation's going. What can you tell us?
Attention!
I wish you a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Again, what we're expecting for this afternoon?
the same. Some cardinal will give some speech, each one 5 minutes, and they're trying to, 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 to explain what will be the church in the years to come, what will be the world years.
Heavy rains in the municipality of Itagüí in northwestern Colombia claimed the life of one person after they caused a mudslide that left destructions in its path. During Sunday night and the early morning of Monday, a strong storm caused the Los Olivares Creek to overflow and the currents to go down the streets, carrying vegetation and vehicles in its path. National media reported that one person died and another was injured in the area. In Itagüí, authorities declared a state of public calamity and reported that at least 35 families were affected in the municipality. And as it is this hour, mate, thanks for watching. Up next is E-Vibes with Quinette Wokunta. Good day.
time we entered this earth as human beings, we started industrialization. We started this a kind of development. We call it the technological, development, advancement. Thank you very much. So from there, we started emissions. Understand? Doubling emissions, CO2, SO4, methane, and the rest of them. And then you started clogging the atmosphere with abnormal kind of quantity of gases. And then it started saturating. So you start seeing rainfall when it's not even supposed to fall. And you start seeing heavy rainfall. By the time you have heavy rainfall, there will be a kind of massive movement of water on the earth, and then it start causing flooding. Suffice to say that as the technology is moving on, buildings are springing up. So many people, if you go to some states, you'll find out that some people will see a waterway and there will be
Hello and welcome to another episode and edition on E-Vibes, the entertainment show on Signature TV. I'm your baby girl, Queenette Wokunta. So I have a whole lot of stories today and we're going to be having the conversations together. I need you to give your 2 cents in the comment section because the Met Gala happened yesterday and I will be reviewing a whole lot to you. Boils down from the red carpet to the fashion reviews and stories behind each and everything that happened in the entertainment industry within the past 15 to 24 hours. Yes. So let's delve into the stories of the day. In a post on his X account, gospel music star Pastor Dusin Oyekan complained over the illegal upload of his song on digital platforms. In the post, Oyekan stated that he previously released a track titled Code of Worship in 2022 in the album The Glory Experience, only to find that someone recently re-uploaded the track on digital platforms. He asked that listeners report the song, which he tagged criminal and illegal. Dusin Oyekan is the latest musician to decry copyright infringements confronting the Nigerian music industry, of which even gospel music is not spared. Over the years, there have been cases of illegal uploading of songs, especially of veteran artists whose work was released before the advent of the digital era. While the Copyright Act protects intellectual properties like music, its implementation has constituted a challenge that has made the legislation largely ineffective. The lengthy court process has also made legal recourse retroactive, as cases sometimes take years to be resolved. the case of King Sunny Ade versus African Songs Limited, which lasted 30 years in court. Digital streaming platforms have, however, made addressing issues of illegal uploads and copyright breaches faster by giving rights owners the option to apply for a takedown order. This takedown option allows artists to tackle illegal uploads, unlicensed samples, and other copyright breaches. So, you know, this thing happened a long time ago. Most times when we get statements like this that comes up on social media, it's on movies from movie industries, and it's rare most times to hear it from music industry. But yes, it is not that doesn't mean it's not said. So I'm surprised that they do this same thing in gospel music. That was why he had to emphasize on gospel music is not out of it. So why is there always a copyright? If you want to use a material that someone worked so hard for, ask nicely. And yes, even if you ask nicely, the person would still ask you for compensation because he or she worked so hard with his sweat and blood, finance and everything to get that music get to where it is. So if you want to use such content, you should ask nicely. There are contracts to these things. I'm happy that movie industries are beginning to look into that. So music industry should look into that, despite the fact that the governments are trying their so best to make music more elaborate, put an eye on it, the finance, the commercials, the promotions and the likes. They should put an eye on infringement illegally. They should put an eye on it, and there should be certain rules that if you do this, you would face these consequences. So let's move forward. The Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, has confirmed that popular social media activist Martin Osei, widely known as Very Dark Man, will be released once he meets the bail condition. EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale, while speaking to BBC News Pidgin on Monday, stated, and I quote, "We will release him if he meets his bail conditions, and we will take the case to court as soon as possible." According to him, Very Dark Man's arrest followed multiple petitions submitted by various individuals alleging misconduct. VDM's arrest, carried out in Abuja by EFCC operatives, has triggered a strong backlash online, with many accusing the commission for engaging in a crackdown on dissent. Some youths on Monday took to streets of Abuja to demand his immediate release. So before I say what I want to say, let's move over to the third story. Indications have emerged that the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, will release Martin Osei, a prominent social media influencer known as Very Dark Man, on Tuesday, which is today. The nation also learned that there are plans to formally charge him in court on Thursday. The senior official of the anti-graft agency, who spoke on the condition of anonymity, confirmed the development on Monday, noting that while Osei remains in custody, he has not yet been formally arraigned. VDM's arrest happened after he criticized the bank over alleged unauthorized transactions from his mother's account. His legal representative, Deji Adeyanju, who confirmed Osei's arrest on X, said the team of policemen arrested VDM along with his friend CPAC. Abuja youth staged a protest on Monday over the activist's arrest. Protests marched from the EFCC headquarters to a commercial bank, holding placards demanding Very Dark Man's release and questioning President Tinubu's potential involvement. They condemned Very Dark Man's arrest and detention as unlawful, calling for transparency and vowing to escalate their grievances to the Nigerian Human Rights Commission. Now, you know, we had to go on and on. We even went to comment sections to hear people's opinion on this particular matter, because they all kept us in the dark why they arrested Very Dark Man. But it has come to a notice now that he has a whole lot of complaints on their table. So it's more like, which one would they pick right now? And I'm not going to say that we going for protests yesterday was wrong. I mean, this is something you do for someone you love. But what exactly are you protesting for? If you're asking them to release him, why are you asking them to release him? Do you know what he did? And are you sure he's not wrong? Are you even sure that he is wrong? So these are the things we need to think about. Yes, we would say that, oh, because he's a voice of the voiceless, he comes out to say whatever he wants to say on social media, and he advocates for people, young children, widows. You know, he has even gone beyond Christianity, religious, politics, and the likes. So most times when he say things that might be hurting others, they tend to go submit some petitions against him. And yes, some people would say very dark man says things that is literally none of his business. He has no business with it, but like they always call him, the voice of the voiceless. He's that kind of person that thing that somebody cannot come out and say, he comes out to say. So that's why most people came out yesterday to protest. But the good thing now is he will be taken to court on Thursday, but he'll be out today, being Tuesday. But that doesn't mean that while he's out, he has a free will like he used to be. So we would keep our fingers crossed till on Thursday to hear every single thing they submitted to the EFCC that he committed. I will still reveal it to you, trust me. All right, let's move to the foreign scene. Federal prosecutors are under pressure relating to one of their star witnesses in the Diddy trial, because they revealed in court they may not be bringing an alleged victim into the courtroom to testify. The alleged victim in question is a woman, and the feds revealed on Monday the woman does not live close to New York City, where the trial is being held. And they say she's told the courts, they say she's told the court she might not even show up despite being summoned. Prosecutors claim they are having difficulty contacting the woman, and her attorney and the judge asked lead. Prosecutor Maureen Comey, if the prosecution's plan to drop the woman's name in opening statement. Comey said the prosecution would not be getting into the woman's story until the second part of the trial. And during opening statements, the woman would be described as one of the many women who have allegedly been abused and sexually exploited by Diddy. Diddy's lawyer told the judge prosecutors need to tell them what they plan on doing with victim number 3 by the end of this week. And the judge implored the feds to make every effort to reach the woman's attorney and secure her appearance. As for Diddy's appearance in court on Monday, it was said he covered up his neck tattoo with his sweater and collared shirt, and none of the prospective jurors made eye contact with him as they came in and out of the courtroom. Diddy and Agnifilo passed notes back and forth throughout the day, including one that appeared to be a question Diddy had about one jurors who said they did not like to see violent videos. So this May, it's the month that we would know the fate of Sean Diddy Combs. We've been going on and on this particular story since last 2 years. So this May will determine his fate and his judgment. But the problem now is victim number 3 has to come out and say something. You just have to come out and say something. Either it is true or not. Whether your state is far or not. Your statement is very, very important and valid. I mean, you're complaining for sex trafficking and all that. Sexual harassment, rather, sorry, and all that. So you have to come up and speak to the judges in court so that people could hear you. Let's know if, okay, he's going to be found guilty, because every statement that they made about Diddy, he keeps pleading not guilty. Ever since this court issue started, he keeps pleading not guilty. So your statement is very important in court. Wherever you are, they need your presence and they need your audience. Okay, let's move into more interesting and juicy stories. Celebrities revealed their first look of their Met Gala outfits on Monday as they departed the Khalil Hotel for the prestigious event. Singer Rihanna arrived as other celebrities were leaving for the glamorous event, looking visibly pregnant, as confirmed later by her partner, A$AP Rocky. The high-profile Met Gala is a benefit event for New York's Metropolitan Museum of Arts and marks the opening of its Costume Institute's annual fashion exhibit. This year's theme, Superfine Tailoring Black Style, examines black dandyism from the 18th century to the present. Take a look.
Hey, stop for a picture. Come this way. Stop for a photo. Picture on this side. On this side. Over here on this side. Right here. Over the shoulder. Over here. This way. Sadie. Behind you. Wow. Sadie, give it to us. This is the side, over here, all the way left. Left side. Over the shoulder. This way. Right here, please. Right here. Mr. Bernay, right here, please. One more back here. One more this way, please. Over your shoulder. Miss Williams, this way, please. This side. Behind you. Miss Williams, this way, please. Other side, please. Go now. Miss Williams, right here, please. Clear the way. Clear the way so we can get a shot. This way, please. Norman, you're... This way, please, right here, up top. All the way on the left. Dwayne and Jackie right here, please. On this side. Stop and look. Dwayne and Gabby, this way, please. Over for the media. This side. Dwayne and Gabby, this way. Turn this way. Dwayne and Gabby, this way, please. Right here. Up top, please. Right here. Left side. One more right here. Gabby, this way. Up top, please. This way. Gabby, can we get you over here? Gabby, left. Gabby, one more here. Gabby, this way, please. Together. Right here. Okay, clear this, clear from the carpet. Clear the carpet. Mr. Deep. Gigi, this way, please. Gigi, up top, please. This way.
Gigi, all the way left. All the way on the left side, Gigi.
Gigi, one more this way. Gigi, look bad.
On this side, Miss Biles. Simone on this side, over here.
Simone.
Yeah, turn to us. Turn to us over here.
Over your shoulder. Simone, this way for the press, right here. Simone, other side.
All the way to the left. All the way on the left side, Lupita. Left, more left. Good one, yes. All the way back. And yes, all the way to the left.
Up top.
And left.
Over the shoulder, Miss Overwear.
You got him back.
Thank you.
Okay, so Whoopi Goldberg, Sarah Snook, Sadie Singh, and Ava DuVernay were among the big names to hit the red carpet at New York City Metropolitan Museum of Art's annual Elise Gala on Monday. The invitation only Met Gala famed for its celebrities and extravagant outfits. It's a benefit for New York's Metropolitan Museum of Arts and marks the opening of the Costume Institute's annual fashion exhibit. This is themed Superfine Tailoring Black Style, examines black dandyism from the 18th century to the present. The exhibition will showcase historical and contemporary garments and accessories, as well as drawing prints, paintings, and photographs that have shaped the understanding of black identities and experiences. Vogue editor-in-chief Anna Wintour has organized the presided over the event since 1995. The gala now attracts high-profile figures from various fields and regularly raises eight-figure sums, with last year's event generating around $26 million. This year's celebrities co-chairs for the fundraisers are A$AP Rocky, Coleman, Domingo, Lois Hamilton, Pharrell Williams, and Honorary Chair LeBron James. Take a look.
Right behind us. Hey, but one more smile this way. Daddy, over the shoulder right
One more smile here. One more smile here. To the left. To the left.
Second row, straight ahead.
GG straight ahead.
GG, straight ahead. One side.
GG. Wait.
Hold on, as you walk, GG.
Back down.
GG, big smile inside the chair.
Yes. And smiling here.
And that smile right and straight ahead.
Looking left.
And straight
Looking
ahead.
here. How about a little smile right here? A little one.
Woo!
Travel to the left. Come over this. The light again. Come over this. See you later.
It is my first Met. Well, you just mentioned it, like the top secret, the fact that I haven't been able to tell anyone this for the past 3 months. I've been holding it a secret, so now that it's out, I feel like I can breathe. And now that I'm here, I feel like I can celebrate.
Jordan, look in here as you walk. Perfect. Jordan, just right there. Amazing. Perfect. Here we go.
Jeremy, that smile, Jeremy.
Jeremy, second row. And Jeremy to the left. And to the left. Come a little closer, Right there. And Fabio, look in here.
Second row. Heidi, that smile.
Heidi, look in here.
Heidi, the front of your dress. Heidi, right there, big smile.
Heidi, and look in here. This camera.
Alex. Big smile, straight ahead.
James, right from you, sir.
And together.
And one more, Tyler, looking left.
Tyler on the left.
Tyler, right here. And looking left.
Nice here.
Looking left.
Bro, turn around, James.
Thank you.
And bring on the front of the...
And looking left. You see the front of the dress?
A couple more right in front of you right here. 1, 2, 3.
Huh? Whenever you're ready. Just to let you know now. Right.
And then just look over your shoulder and be on the other side.
Right in front. Pam, right in front of you. Thank you.
And the camera stand up top.
Pamela, right here.
Corey, over the shoulder, Pam.
Pam, sorry. Hello. Beautiful. Here we go. You can take it out.
Maya, let's get you on the left. Maya, this way. And Maya, the front of the dress, please. The front. Maya, big.
And to your left shoulder. Thank you.
Big smile, right here, big smile. And let's see that smile one time.
There you go. Hey, Dirk, gentlemen to the left here.
And those smiles right here, guys. Way up here, Derek.
Perfect.
And one more. Oh, one way.
Jim.
Here, guys.
Twin sisters. Wow. All the jewelry. They are
because we knew you'd get it eventually. You know, especially at this time when people are trying to erase. Now is the time to be seen because it means more than anything. We got allies.
Look at up top. Awesome. Take a nice shot. Yeah. Maya, look right straight up. I'm looking here for you. Thank you. Sadie, what? Sadie right here. Thank you. Travel on the left. Travel, the front of the outfit, travel. Look up. Travel, look, smile. Travel, just turn your shoulders. Look at camera. By yourself in that outfit. Go by yourself. 1 second. No, front of the dress. One more time. I'm not coming. Sarah, to the left. And one more right here. Thank you. Jordan. One more right here. And looking left here. Looking left, looking left. Turning left. Can you turn left? And straight ahead, big smile, one time.
So big names like Miley Cyrus, Serena Williams, Alicia Keys, Cynthia Erivo, and Sabrina Carpenter turned up the heat as they arrived in New York City's Metropolitan Museum of Art's annual A-List Gala on Monday. The invitation-only Met Gala, famed for 8 celebrities and extravagant outfits, is a benefit for New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art and marks the opening of the Costume Institute's annual fashion exhibit. This year's theme, Superfine Tailoring Black Style, examines Black dandyism from the 18th century to the present. The exhibition will showcase historical and contemporary garments and accessories, as well as drawing, prints, paintings, and photographs that have shaped the understanding of Black identities and experiences. Take a look.
And looking here. Spike. Spike right here. And both of you left. Spike. Look good, look good. Spike, can we get one solo of the suit?
Well, I would say it's about time.
Long overdue.
But
we're going to be nice tonight.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, yes, we are special and unique, and we should be celebrated all the time. So it's nice to have a night where that's happening.
We're celebrating ourselves. Simple as that. This is a dressed up barbecue.
Picture. With their hands up. Right? Megan, the lights nicer this way. Right, perfect. Now we go, nice light. Here we go. As they should, just hold it right there. Megan, right here, Megan, that smile. Megan. Left shoulder. Megan, over the left shoulder. Megan, the front. Open the dress. Megan. There you go, look here. Megan. Sabrina, look up. That gorgeous smile. Sabrina. Look up. Suki, that smile right here. Over the shoulder, Suki. Chin up. Audrey. Turn your body this way. Beautiful. Andra, look in here. Andra, straight ahead, please. Straight ahead. Andra, straight ahead. Andra, to the left. Second row, straight ahead. Andra, this way. Look at the camera, This camera. Perfect. Henry, right here. Henry here. Henry on the left. Henry, second row. Henry. Left. Henry, one more smile. One more look this way, Ashley. And looking here, one more, hold that right there. Looking left. The front. Can I get the front one more time? Looking right here. Second row, straight ahead. Ashley, looking off the shoulder. Smiley on the left. Yes, Smiley, right here. Cynthia! Cynthia!
Let's see the track. There you go.
Cynthia, Cynthia!
Cynthia, straight ahead, please.
Cynthia, straight ahead.
To the left, Cynthia, that beautiful smile right here.
Cynthia, to the left. One more time. To the left.
It's a big deal. We don't necessarily get the chance to be in these spaces with a large group of us, expressing what it means to be in fashion, expressing what our history in fashion has been. A lot of it has been lost. So to be able to express that here today through fashion, it means a lot.
Cynthia, straight ahead.
That beautiful smile. One more. Hold on 1 second. Cynthia, right there. Right there. Gorgeous. One more.
Again, as a maximalist, this is my wheelhouse. This is my home. It means that we get to express the outward play that we have had and making what is seen as a simple tailoring the suits into something that is magnificent and magical. I took from Chevalier, Saint Georges, and Prince, because those are my gurus, and I feel like that's the world I play in. So where we can play up and express and play and, I don't know, rip the rules apart is where we live best. Yeah.
Right for you.
Don't you that smile?
Don't you look this way? Don't you one more time? I need a tight one right here. Second row. For you. One more look here, Cole. Cole, come down one step. Cole, right there. Wait. Guys, we need fashion.
Serena, in front of you. Serena, no. We have it going, guys. Serena, the front.
Excuse me. We're trying to take photos, miss. Wait, we haven't gotten it.
Victoria, this way. Let's see the necklace.
And to the left. Second row, straight ahead.
And one more time, the front.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Look at this camera. Alicia, to the left. Can the two of y'all look to the left, please?
All right, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, I'll review some fashions that got me quite interested in this whole fashion, Met Gala, museum arts, metropolitan, and I'll review all this to you together with your favorite celebrities. Stay with us, we'll be right back in a jiffy. Welcome back. Happy birthday to each and every person that today happens to be your birthday. I wish you every good thing in life. So let's delve into the fashion review Met Gala 2025. The 2025 Met Gala took place at the Metropolitan Museum of Arts in New York City, specifically at the Met Fifth Avenue. The event was held on Monday, May 5th, 2025, marking the opening of the Costume Institute's spring exhibition titled Superfine Tailoring Black Style. The grand staircase is adorned in midnight blue, and daffodils guests ascend their attire, a tapestry of black dandyism. So let's take a look at their outfits. So first on the list is Monica Barbaro. Let's take a look at her outfit and, you know, give it her 2 cents. So I like this because she's all covered up. It's giving this old British princess, you know, the hand gloves, the hats and everything. It's beautiful. The color blend is quite impressive. Not doing too much, not extravagant, just being there, being you. You don't really need anybody helping you to carry your dress or hold your hat or whatsoever. So I'll give this a 7 over 10. Yes. Let's have a look at the next person, and that is Chappelle Roan. So it's beautiful. I like the fact that she has to do with the color pink, all shiny, and her hair very extravagant. This is pretty, and okay, the details are quite nice, but I mean, you're wearing an outfit that people have to carry you into the car. So I'll give it a 6 over 10 actually. 6 over 10, yeah. And the third on the list is Sophia Granger. Let's take a look at her outfit. Let's take a look at Sophia Granger outfit. Ooh.
Keep coming, keep coming. Let's get it in the business. Can we see the front of your dress on this?
Sophia, can you say hi to who at where?
I so love this outfit. I don't know why, but it's so pretty. It's giving elegance, damsel, princess, you know. I think the whole bow at the back is what's making it look so busy and all. But aside that, the dress is effortlessly beautiful. This is a 10 over 10 for me. I don't know about you. Give your 2 cents in the comment section. And the next on the list is Rihanna. Yes. She could be. Myself had to make a comment on socials about his wife being pregnant, and we're all anticipating to see her at the Met Gala, and she had to do her thing. Rihanna has always been the queen that she is, and I so love this outfit. I think if she had removed the jacket, we would have known what was there, but yeah, it's giving the whole revealing my baby bump, not doing too much, but looking it like the team says. So I'll give this a 9.5 over 10. Yes, because of the whole details. Fast forward to Kylie Jenner. Let's take a look at Kylie Jenner's outfit at the Met Gala. So one thing I like about corsets, it will give you that snatchy look. Everything is popping out from head to toe. This outfit is effortlessly elegant, beautiful, though it's quite revealing, but I still like it. It's nice, and thank God she didn't do too much with her hair, because if she had, maybe we would have concentrated in the hair and not in the outfit. So that style of hair, perfect, because I mean, we have to pay attention to the clothing and not really the hair. And if she maybe did something with the hair, we wouldn't notice. She didn't do much with accessories. Quite interesting too. So this is a 10 over 10 for me. I don't know about you, but yes, I like. Let's move forward. Next on the list is Damson Idris. Let's take a look at what Damson Idris wore to the Met Gala.
I told you this shit already been done. All of my
Actually, I laughed because in my head I'm like, who is this Power Ranger in the blue carpets? Until they had to open it, and his suit is so beautiful, giving the whole gentleman vibe. Yes, all shiny. You know, they usually have the lady in red, but this is the gentleman in red. But my question is, anyways, the whole Power Ranger vibe from the initial stage, nice. I mean, you're giving that outstanding walk-in, perfect and beautiful. So I'll give this a 9 over 10. So Tiana is the queen she thinks she is. You know, I didn't really do the whole review of the back and all that, but if you see, you will know that that veil is so good. She's giving this whole queen warrior vibe. What do they call queen warrior now? I don't even know anymore. But yes, this is beautiful. You know, not doing too much on stage, so you want to change your style or what sort. She's changing her style with her staff and giving the whole pouch smile, pouch style and all the rest. She's allowing her clothes to do the talking. This is 100 over 10 for me. I so love it. So let's move forward. The next we have on the list is A$AP Rocky. Let's see what A$AP Rocky wore to the Met Gala.
Here we go. What's the A$AP, look at this camera. A$AP, look at this camera.
So A$AP is giving the whole vibe of soon to be dad of 3 from Rihanna. I think they were trying to do this whole couple swinging kind of outfit, but this is beautiful. This is elegant. This is standing out, and the whole display perfect. I think the staff had to make the outfit pop more. The jacket is not really a suit, but he's wearing a suit inside. So I'll give this a 9 over 10. Yes, for a man, yeah, 9 over 10. Let's fast forward to Zendaya's outfit. Let's see what Zendaya wore to the Met Gala yesterday.
Right shoulder, right shoulder.
So there's something I noticed, yeah. I think ladies were doing more of suits and comfy outfits, not too extravagant. Not all anyways, but some of them didn't outdo themselves. So this outfit is perfect, color perfect, style beautiful, no stress and all. I think I'll give this a 8 over 10. Yes, 8 over 10. So the last and the least, but not the least, Diana Ross. Let's see what Diana Ross wore to the Met Gala. She's the queen, the goddess, the queen mother that she is. Whether we like it or yes, this is a 200 over 10 for me. Very beautiful, very standing out. Her veil is giving, I'm stealing the show. Nobody is allowed to step into this carpet right now, so you don't step on my veil and all that. So this is a 200 over 10 for me. I don't know about you. You still have your own opinion, right? So yes, this is where we draw the curtain. The show has come to an end. I'm sure you had so much fun as much as I did. Join us same time tomorrow, same station. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I remain your baby girl, Queenette Wokunta. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Welcome to Global News on Signature TV. I am Barry Kumo Ado. In the headlines, EU trade chief says bloc will not be pressured into unfair deal with US. Trump signs orders to encourage drug manufacturing and restrict research that enhances pathogens. Hong Kong watchmaker explores new markets as US tariffs threaten trade lifeline. And Prince Harry's lawyers back in court against Daily Mail publisher. Details shortly.
We are local.
We are right now with the wife of the man that was...
Why the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the bill by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
U.S. Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent has said that the Milken Institute look by this time next year, which would help bring down U.S. budget deficit to the long-term average share of GDP. Bessent also told attendees that Trump's trade policy will return American investment to domestic soil, and that could be achieved by this time next year.
So for the past 100 days, we've been preparing the soil. We have uprooted government waste and harmful regulations. We have planted the seeds of private investment, and we have fertilized the ground with fresh tax legislation. Next, we harvest, and we want you to harvest with us. Tariffs are engineered to encourage companies like yours to invest directly in the United States. Hire your workers here. Build your factories here. Make your products here. You'll be glad you did, not only because we have the most productive workforce in the world, but because we will soon have the most favorable tax and regulatory environment as well. And this was President Trump's idea. He likes negotiating, as you know. A lot of people in this room probably know. And he likes creating negotiating leverage for himself. And the Ukraine investment partnership, the economic partnership, was his idea. And he believed that it would do several things. One, it would create more leverage for him with the Russian leadership when it was time to go to them. So the idea was start with Ukraine, sign a deal that shows that there is no daylight between the U.S. and the Ukrainian people. It would be a symbol to Ukrainian people that the U.S. is still there. It would be a symbol to a tired American public, skeptical of more financial commitments, that it was possible to have a shared prosperity with Ukraine. And then it would, in essence, be a tacit security guarantee because of the economic partnership.
The U.S. economy contracted for the first time in 3 years. In the first quarter, it made a flood of imports to beat Trump's tariffs, and the International Monetary Fund has forecast that U.S. GDP will grow only 1.8% in 2025. The EU's trade chief has said on Tuesday that the European Union does not feel under undue pressure to accept any unfair trade deal with the United States, adding that other trading partners were very keen to accelerate talks with the bloc. The European Union will prepare countermeasures to the multitude of U.S. tariffs imposed on EU imports than President Donald Trump's 90-day pause, with all options on the table, he also said. Sefcovic said a negotiated solution with the United States remained the EU's clear and preferred outcome.
large, we do not feel weak. We do not feel under undue pressure to accept the deal which would not be fair for us. We are absolutely clear that we are the biggest trading bloc on this planet, with very strong economy and with very biggest actually the network of our free trade agreements. And we know that this negotiation might not in the end succeed despite of all our sincere efforts. So therefore, we of course are preparing for the possible and might be needed rebalancing. So we have to highlight that these tariffs are simply unjust, unfair and in total breach of international commercial law. And therefore we are also considering another options and to challenge these measures in the WTO. So we are fully aware how important this is, and I think that all trading world is looking at making sure that we will come back to the rules-based international trade, to respect of the rules for all of us, because this is how the international trade should function in the future.
The 27-nation bloc faces 25% U.S. import tariffs on steel and aluminium and cars, and reciprocal tariffs of 10% for almost all other goods that could rise to 20% after President Donald Trump's 90-day pause. Sefcovic said the European Union would use the pause until July 8 to prepare further rebalancing measures and ensure a level playing field if talks failed. The European Union has suspended its own countermeasures against the steel tariffs to give room for negotiations, although they appear to have made only limited progress. Shipping containers set in place on Monday at the Port of Los Angeles at the entertainment industry reacted with alarm and bafflement after President Donald Trump said he would impose a 100% tariff on all movies produced outside the U.S., but issued few details on just how such a levy would work. Veteran Studio executives said the announcement on Sunday left unanswered the timing of a proposed levy and how it will be enforced for an industry whose biggest budget films are often produced across several continents. Trump's announcement followed his meeting at Mar-a-Lago with his Hollywood ambassador, actor John Burke, special advisor Stephen Paul, and media executive Scott Carroll. Some movies on an industry like film will mark a major extension of tariffs as a policy tool into services for which the U.S. runs a sizable trade surplus. And like the auto, pharmaceutical and chip industries before it, Trump's declaration threatens to put another business in a tariff-induced state of limbo. The White House trade policy is aimed at boosting U.S. industrial activity, but a series of levies and rollbacks has sapped consumer and business confidence. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Monday that aims to reduce the time it takes to approve pharmaceutical plants in the country as part of new regulations to encourage domestic manufacturing. Trump signed the order during an event in the Oval Office, in which he also told reporters he would make announcements in the coming weeks on the cost of drugs as well as pharmaceutical tariffs. Last month, the Trump administration launched probes into imports of pharmaceuticals and semiconductors as it looks to impose tariffs on both sectors on grounds that extensive reliance on foreign production of medicine and chips is a national security threat. On Monday, Trump also signed an order that bans federal funding for grain of functional research that typically enhances pathogens.
We're going to have a big announcement next week on some of this kind of thing, but more related to costs, the costs of medicines and drugs, because we're being ripped off, as you know, very badly, being ripped off compared to the rest of the world.
The conduct of this dangerous gain-of-function research, which aims at taking pathogens and making them more virulent, more transmissible in humans, many scientists believe is responsible for the COVID pandemic. The conduct of this research does not protect us against pandemics, as some people might say. It doesn't protect us against other nations. What it does is there's always a danger that in doing this research, it might leak out just by accident even, and cause a pandemic. Any nation that engages in this research endangers their own population as well as the world.
S&P 500 fell to snap its longest streak of gains in 20 years on Monday, as investors assess U.S. President Donald Trump's latest tariffs announcement ahead of a Federal Reserve's monetary policy decision later this week. On Sunday, Trump announced a 100% tariff on movies produced outside the U.S., but provided no details on how such levies will be implemented. Stocks have been volatile since Trump announced his first round of tariffs on April 2, with the S&P 500 initially dropping nearly 15%, only to stabilize and climb for the last 9 straight sessions, the longest streak since 2004. On Monday, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Trump's tariffs, tax cut and deregulation agenda will work together to drive long-term investment to the U.S., adding markets could overcome any short-term turbulence.
So I think the market today is mostly reflecting the big news from Warren Buffett over the weekend. We see that in Berkshire Hathaway stock, and the rest of the market is just sort of finding its footing for the week. So big news that Warren Buffett plans to step down. And as we said that we see it in the stock itself, it is a big message across the markets and across Wall Street for such an oracle to be planning an exit.
According to preliminary data, the S&P 500 lost 35.47 points to end at 5,651 points, while the Nasdaq Composite lost 138.72 points to 17,839 points. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 102.10 points to 41,215 points. Several movie and television production stocks fell sharply right after Trump's announcement, but subsequently pared losses. Netflix fell to snap at 17-session winning streak, with Amazon.com and Paramount Global, Para.o, were also weaker. German shares extended their fall on Tuesday from near record levels, and bond yields dipped after Conservative leader Friedrich Merz failed to garner the parliamentary majority needed to become Chancellor in the first round of vote. The blue chip DAX index was down 1.1% for the 9 straight positive sessions, while domestically focused mid-cap MBX fell 1.8%. German government bond yields turned lower on the day, with 2-year yields last down 1.3 basis points at 1.76%. The euro was around 0.2% higher on the day as $1,001.335. Pan-European Stock 600 index was down 0.7%. Germany's DAX led losses among regional indexes with a 1.6% decline after Metz, who led a CDU/CSU Conservatives to win a federal election in February, faced an unexpected setback for its new coalition with its center-left Social Democrats. According to IFC's bank trader Arthur Brunner, Merz is weakened regardless of whether he becomes Chancellor, a bitter disappointment for the stock market. Washington announced higher tariffs and the axing of a de minimis rule that allowed for low-value packages from Hong Kong and mainland China to enter the United States free of duties. Quentin felt it was game over for his watch brand. Lai is the founder of DIY Watch Club, which sells to do-it-yourself watchmaking kits to the overseas market, with 80% of its shipments going to the United States. Starting from May 2, low-value packages from China and Hong Kong have been subject to a 90% tariff or a flat fee of $75, part of a punishing trade war between Washington and Beijing. When the tariffs hit in April, Lai's company swiftly boosted its marketing efforts to target Europe, increasing ads on social media and sending up toolkits to some online influencers for unboxing. Lai said it decided to target Europe as a market rather than Southeast Asia, as he expects e-commerce sales in Europe to perform better for its peculiar industry. Lai said the company has now expanded its market share in Europe from approximately 6% to around 30%. But the US market still accounts for half of its revenue. Companies now less dependent on it. Kennedy Wong, Honorary President of the Hong Kong Chinese Importers and Exporters Association, said that cross-border e-commerce has been seriously impacted as these products are sold via small packages and no single market can replace the US.
Our marketing efforts and everything to target Europe and a bunch of other countries. And now I think it's down to, it's still a good chunk of our revenue though. It's still over half. So when the tariff first hit, it was actually pretty bad. We had 80+% in the US, right? So we were literally considering downsizing the company and it was going to be game over. So to solve this problem, it was basically an hourly effort testing out different countries in Europe. We did marketing, we sent marketing everywhere, we localized our products. Eventually, we managed to increase our Europe portfolio from let's say 6.7% to now it's 30-something%. So we are now no longer as reliant on the US market as before. We are expecting the hit to be around, I think, 20% or 30% of our revenue to the US. It's going to be painful because it's not just the prices adjustment, it's also because I think the whole spending pattern on e-commerce is going to change. For watches in general, we are already expecting everything to go up by 15 to 20% in prices. So it's going to discourage people from buying online.
US President Donald Trump said he was unsure why Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney was coming to see him on Tuesday. Carney said on Friday he will be in Washington on Tuesday for what he expects will be a difficult but constructive talks with US President Donald Trump, who has accused of trying to break Canada.
He's coming to see me. I'm not sure what he wants to see me about, but I guess he wants to make a deal. Everybody does. They all want to make a deal because we have something that they all want. We have something that they all want. China wants to make a deal very badly. You see what's happening to China. China's being decimated, and I don't want that to happen. But they have to make a fair deal. We were losing hundreds of billions of dollars a year. We were losing think of it, on our trade policies with Biden. We're losing $5 billion a day. I think Josh, as a great businessman, would not let that happen too long, right? How many groups could lose $5 billion a day? If you lose $5 billion one day, that's the end of that company, right? You're fired. He says, you're fired. Get out of here. So we essentially did that. And we have it down to a very low number. We're doing really well, really well.
The US and Canada have been locked in a dispute over automotive and other tariffs imposed by Trump. Carney termed the US actions as a betrayal, says Canada must reduce its reliance on the United States, which takes 75% of all Canadian exports. Fresh from a victorious election campaign focused on standing up to Trump, Carney said the two neighbors also need to create new security and defense ties. Lawyers for Prince Harry are back in court in London on Tuesday after they lost a legal fight with the government over security arrangements and gave an emotional interview in which he said his father, King Charles, no longer spoke to him. Along with singer Elton John and 5 other high-profile British figures, Harry is suing Associated Newspapers A&L, a publisher of Daily Mail tabloid, alleging widespread unlawful behavior. They accuse A&L of serious privacy breaches dating back 30 years, ranging from tapping their phones and bugging their homes to obtaining medical records by deception. Among those who they say were involved, current national newspaper editors and other senior press figures. David Sherborne, the lawyer representing the 7 claimants, said a 2-day hearing, which started on Tuesday, will focus on the issues relating to the disclosure of further material before a full trial expected next year. Sherborne said disclosure so far had shown widespread use of unlawful information gathering across the titles by journalists and various desks, but the approach to disclosure has allowed only a partial picture of the wrongdoing. A&L's lawyers said that the claimants had not provided any disclosure to substantiate the allegations and argues in court filings that the claimants had given no further particulars of the allegations of hacking, tampering, blagging, or perjury. The United States imposed sanctions on Monday on a Myanmar warlord, his two sons, and the militia elites for facilitating service camps, human trafficking, and cross-border smuggling, the Treasury Department said. Treasury said the warlord saw Shitu, the Karim National Army that he heads, is a central figure in a network of illicit and highly lucrative service camp operations targeting Americans. Hundreds of thousands of people have been trafficked by criminal gangs across Southeast Asia in recent years, forced to work in scam operations, according to the United Nations. The Karen National Army is headquartered in Swekoko, a so-called special economic zone along the Thai-Myanmar border, where the militia leases land and provides security for compounds where trafficked individuals are forced into scamming strangers online. The statement said Washington has imposed multiple rounds of sanctions on Myanmar's junta and its source of aid income since the military toppled the elected government of Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi in February 2021, igniting a spiral in civil war. Up ahead, U.S. military reinforces Mexico border fence as Sheinbaum snubs Trump's troop proposal. Lawyers representing detained Venezuelans in Salvadoran prison question Bukele's prisoner swap plan. Stay with us.
With a population of about 36 million people, the Southeast is awash with stories. Every day on Southeast News, we tell the peculiar story of the Southeast and her people.
Our Southeast should be the Silicon Valley of Nigeria.
Their successes, achievements, and daily challenges. Do you have a Southeast story to share? Community achievements and challenges, completed and uncompleted projects, bad roads, water scarcity, erosion, flooding, insecurity, or even disagreements? Bring it on to Southeast News. On Southeast News, no story is too big or too small. Southeast News. Let's tell our story. Showing on Signature TV every weekday at 4 p.m. WAT, 1600 hours GMT.
U.S. military personnel reinforced barbed wire fencing along the border with Ciudad Juarez on Monday, while Mexican President Claudio Sheinbaum reiterated a rejection of U.S. President Donald Trump's offer to send U.S. troops to combat drug trafficking. Sheinbaum's comments were in response to questions about a recent Wall Street Journal report that said Trump was pressuring Mexico to allow deeper U.S. military involvement against drug cartels across the shared border. Trump has said publicly that the U.S. will take unilateral military action if Mexico failed to dismantle drug cartels. Two leaders have had several calls in recent months to discuss security issues, trade, and immigration. Lawyers representing some 30 cases of Venezuelans detained in a maximum security prison in El Salvador said on Monday that President Nayib Bukele's proposal to carry out an exchange of prisoners in Venezuela has no legal basis. In addition, lawyers of Grupo Ortega law firm asked Bukele to open a physical or virtual communication channel with their clients and their families to provide a legal solution to the situation of the Venezuelans. They said that in Central American country, there is a delay in justice and that to date they have not obtained a response to the habeas corpus petitions from the Supreme Court of Justice, nor from other state institutions. Helicopter footage showed in famous Alcatraz prison in San Francisco Bay a day after U.S. President Donald Trump said he was directing the Federal Bureau of Prisons to rebuild and reopen the island penitentiary to house Americans' most ruthless and violent offenders. He posted on a Truth Social platform to rebuild and open Alcatraz The federal prison at Alcatraz housed notorious U.S. criminals such as Al Capone before it closed in 1963. It is now one of San Francisco's most popular tourist destinations. Alcatraz was built as America's most secure prison, given the island location, frigid waters, and strong currents. No successful escapes were ever officially recorded from Alcatraz, though 5 prisoners are listed as missing and presumed drowned. Alcatraz was closed because it was too expensive to continue operation, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons (BOP) website, in large part due to its island's location. It was nearly 3 times more costly to operate than any other federal prison. China saw 314 million domestic trips during the 5-day May Day holiday from Thursday to Monday, up from 6.4% last year-on-year, according to data from the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, as culture-themed tour packages and holiday discounts fueled the surge in market demand. Total domestic tourism spending reached 269 billion yuan, marking an 8% year-on-year rise. To meet the growing and diversified demands, local governments rolled out an array of cultural activities, travel packages, and public benefit initiatives, proving to be welcomed by holiday markets. More trips made during the May Day holiday were via rail, with total train trips made during the holiday standing at 112 million, up 10.5% year-on-year. On Monday, as returning passengers flow picked up, railway trips were estimated to hit 21.1 million in a single day. National highways and expressways across China also experienced a significant rise in returning passenger flows, with an estimated 244.93 million people traveling via roads on Monday alone, as road travel remains a predominant option for short and medium-distance trips. As for airline services, civil aviation saw robust growth as well. Around 2.32 million air passenger trips were expected on Monday. Over the entire holiday period, airlines were expected to handle 11.15 million trips, averaging 2.23 million per day, and 11.8% increase compared to the same period in 2024. A total of 91,000 flights were estimated to operate during the holiday, up 5.5% year-on-year, with an on-time performance rate of 89%, an improvement of 1.97 percentage points from last year. China will welcome visits by European Council President Antonio Costa and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen at an appropriate time to jointly hold a new round of China-EU leaders meetings, Chinese Foreign Ministry said on Tuesday. May 6th marks the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between China and the European Union as they work to toll ties amid global trade uncertainty fueled by sweeping U.S. tariffs. China and the EU would hold high-level dialogues on strategy, economy and trade, green development and digitalization, as well as a series of other events this year, China's Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin Jiang said in a press conference.
At this important time of the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and the EU, China hopes the EU will work with China to uphold the original intention of establishing diplomatic relations, adhere to the positioning of partners, strengthen dialogue and cooperation, properly handle differences, promote the development of China-EU relations, and write more exciting and successful China-EU cooperation stories. After consultation between the two sides, China and the European Parliament decided to simultaneously and comprehensively lift restrictions on mutual exchanges. We believe and expect that with the full resumption of exchanges between China and the EU, the exchanges between legislative bodies, the exchanges and understanding between the two sides will be more in-depth, which will inject new impetus into the continued healthy and stable development of China-EU relations.
The ministry also confirmed on Tuesday that China and the European Parliament had decided to remove restrictions on mutual exchanges. The EU said last week that China will lift sanctions on members of the European Parliament as well as on the institution's subcommittee on human rights. Sanctions were imposed in 2021 over Western measures against Chinese officials accused of mass detention of Muslim Uyghurs in the northwestern region of Xinjiang. Beijing is keen to forge closer economic political ties with Europe to limit the damage from tariffs on most of its exports to the United States. 70-year-old Rooney Mohammed, standing in line at the voter registration center in Mogadishu's Amawenyan district, remembers the last time she voted. It was during the tenure of Somalia's first president, Aden Abdul Osman. In a rare political shift in Somalia, citizens are registering in droves for the forthcoming local government elections, breaking away from the long-standing practice of leaders being chosen by clan elders. For Elder Mohammed Hassan Zadi, the shift is a welcome change from years of indirect political appointments. He recounted the nation's political history since the transitional national government of 2000, highlighting how lawmakers were previously selected. He described how lawmakers were previously chosen through a combination of conference politics and clan elder selections, with wealthy or well-connected candidates often securing positions. He welcomed the local government registration process, saying it will put an end to those who use godfathers of money to gain authority. However, the process has not been without its challenges. Election officials have been taken aback by the overwhelming public interest, leading to overcrowding at registration centers. Opposition MP Dati Amin Jibso has also raised concerns warning against disruptions to the process or changes to the constitution without consensus. Despite these hurdles, a sense of progress pervades the streets of Mogadishu. Reporters promoting the voter registration campaign are ubiquitous, and residents line up in hopeful anticipation. Romania's Interior Minister, Catalin Padiu, has been appointed as an interim premier on Tuesday for the resignation of Prime Minister Marcel Ciolacu resigned on Monday, a day after a far-right opposition leader won the first round of presidential election rerun and its own candidate crashed out of the race. Bredor, a lawyer from the Liberal PNL, previously served as an interim premier twice, 2023 and 2012. He also held the positions of Justice Minister, Interior Minister, as well as Foreign Minister under various cabinets. According to Romanian law, an interim government has a mandate limited to a maximum of 45 days. On Sunday vote, hard-right Eurosceptic George Simeon decisively swept the ballot with some 41% of votes over his Bucharest mayor Nikos Dan, an independent centrist, in a May 18 runoff. South Korea's former Prime Minister Han Duck-seo said on Tuesday that he had not thought of running separately from former Labour Minister Kim Moon-seo, who was picked by the Conservative People Power Party as its candidate earlier this month, because doing so would be a great betrayal of the people. Lee Jae-myung, a candidate of the main opposition Democratic Party, remains a clear front-runner in the election, piling pressure on Conservatives to put forward one candidate to avoid splitting the vote. And also said he was confident that he is best placed to resolve trade issues as the next president, and vowed to find a win-win solution in talks with the United States. Lisbon residents were uncertain on Monday about the outcome of the upcoming early election as an electoral campaign kicked off ahead of a stamp election on May 18. Portugal's governing centre-right Democratic Alliance, AD, extended its lead, though the projection showed was still falling short of parliamentary majority. AD coalition leader Luis Montenegro's Government failed to secure a vote of confidence from Parliament after the opposition questioned its integrity over the dealing of his family's consulting firm. He has denied any wrongdoing. A year ago, AD won the national election with 28.8% of the vote, marginally above a socialist 28%. While anti-immigration sentiment is expected to play in elections, far-right party Chega has been treading water in opinion polls after a surge in the previous election last year when it came third and quadrupled its parliamentary representation. Residents of densely populated neighborhoods in Sanaa, Yemen's capital, have condemned the United States for targeting innocent civilians. Fresh airstrikes that left 14 injured and civilian facilities severely damaged. According to local medics, 14 residents in the suburb neighborhood in eastern part of Sanaa were injured due to U.S. airstrikes early Monday morning, which also shattered windows in several homes and shops. Houthi officials responded to the airstrikes with defiance. After the Houthis announced they had fired a missile at Ben Gurion Airport, Israel's main international airport, the organization's military spokesperson declared complete air blockade against Israel. Spokesperson stated that all Israeli airports were now deemed unsafe targets as part of the Houthis' ongoing campaign supporting Gaza. Attack occurred Sunday morning when a Houthi ballistic missile struck near Ben Gurion Airport, injuring 8 people and leaving a 25-meter wide crater just meters from a control tower, according to Israeli media reports. The strikes killed at least 2 people and wounded 42 others, according to health authorities run by the Houthis. On the same day, Israeli military confirmed that it conducted large-scale airstrikes on Hodeidah. According to reports from U.S. media, the airstrike of Israel was carried out in coordination with the U.S. Still to come, Israel and Ethiopia pledged stronger security ties, and the government protesters scuffled with police outside Israeli parliament. These and more coming shortly after the break.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Residents in Pakistan-controlled Kashmir are racing against time to stockpile food and essentials. Tensions between Pakistan and India escalate, raising fears of imminent conflict. As the standoff between the two countries, starting late April, continues to escalate, Pakistan carried out a second missile test in 3 days on Monday, and India ordered several states to conduct security drills. Community near the line of control, the de facto border that divides the disputed region of Kashmir between the two South Asian neighbors, are bracing for potential conflict. Traditionally, remote and snowbound areas stock flour for winter, but with threats of cross-border escalation looming, Pakistani government is now expanding storage even in accessible zones, locating supply hubs away from exposed areas. Diplomatic efforts struggle to lower tensions between the two nuclear-armed rival nations. For families there, readiness has become a way of life, not just for winter, but for potential conflict. India blames Pakistan for the April 22 attack that killed 26 civilians at a prime tourist location near the resort town of Pahalgam in the restive Indian-controlled Kashmir, a claim Pakistan strongly denies. Russian Defense Ministry published a clip on Tuesday showing the heavily damaged settlement of Gornishevka, located in Stuga district of Cox region. The video shows damaged houses, buildings, and heavily damaged military vehicles with Ukrainian markings on them. Early on Tuesday, the governor of the Cox region said Ukraine's forces had targeted civilians in the attack on Cox, killing 3 people and injuring 7. On Monday, the Russian war bloggers said that Ukrainian forces attacked Western Cox region, firing missiles, smashing through the border, and then crossing minefields with special vehicles. Russia's top general said last month Ukrainian troops have been ejected from the Cox region, ending the biggest incursion into Russian territory since World War II, and that Russia was carrying out a buffer zone in the neighboring Ukrainian region of Sami. Ukraine denied that sending troops are set in the Cox region. Russian President Vladimir Putin later said that some small groups of Ukrainian soldiers were still held up in basements and hideouts in the region. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Saar met with his Ethiopian counterpart Gideon Timotheus in Addis Ababa. The two leaders vowed to deepen security and economic ties amid growing regional threats. Saar warned that terrorism remains a shared danger to both nations, citing Ethiopia's fight against al-Shabaab and linking Somalia militant group to Iran-backed Houthis.
The common threat to our nations, your fight against is al-Shabaab, and it's critical. It threatens the stability of the Horn of Africa and freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. Al-Shabaab collaborates with the Iran-backed Houthis. The Houthis launched hundreds of missiles and drones at Israel since October 7. Just yesterday, they hit near our airport with a missile. They are a threat to Israel, Africa, and the international community. Israel will respond. Radical Islamist terrorism, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Al-Shabaab must be defeated.
በዛሬው ዕለት የእስራኤል የውጭ ጉዳይ ሚኒስትር we believe that there is an immense potential to expand our cooperation further, both in the economic and security fields. Terrorism is a threat both to Israel and Ethiopia, as well as the global community. So our continued and strengthened cooperation in this sector is very important to counter terrorism in the Horn of Africa and in the Middle East. And I hope that your visit will provide further impetus and momentum to this growing and very critical partnership for both countries.
The meeting between Saar and Timotheus comes at a time of heightened regional instability. Ethiopia has been engaged in a long-running battle against al-Shabaab militants who operate across its borders with Somalia. Concurrently, Israel has reported an increase in attacks from Houthi rebels who have been launching missiles and drones towards Israeli territory, allegedly in solidarity with Hamas amid the ongoing Gaza conflict. Protesters demonstrating against Israeli Security Cabinet's move to scale up its offensive in Gaza clashed with security forces outside Parliament in Jerusalem on Monday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Monday an expanded offensive against Palestinian militant group Hamas will be intensive after his security cabinet approved plans that may include seizing the Gaza Strip and controlling aid. However, a An Israeli defense official said the operation will not be launched before U.S. President Donald Trump concludes his visit next week to the Middle East. The decision, after weeks of faltering efforts to agree a ceasefire with Hamas, underlines the threat that a war heaping international pressure on Israel amid dwindling public support at home could continue with no end in sight. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, in Gaza said that Israel's proposed aid plan for the enclave contravenes humanitarian principles and puts civilians at risk. OCHA warned that the humanitarian situation in the Strip is worsening as Israel's aid blockade enters its ninth week. Israel's new offensive includes an aid distribution plan in which aid, which has been handled by the international aid groups and UN organizations, will transfer to private companies and head out in southern area of Rafah once the offensive begins. UN said these aid hubs violate principles of neutrality, impartiality and independence, could even put aid workers at risk.
So the plan that we were briefed on by the Israeli authorities looks to establish hubs through which aid would be delivered. This contravenes humanitarian principles, as this would basically shut down the existing aid delivery mechanism that already operates within the bounds of humanitarian principles. This would violate the humanitarian principles of neutrality, impartiality, and independence, and could also put people at risk by, including aid workers, by having them around these militarized zones. So we have made it very clear that the mechanism, this plan that was presented, is not in line with the humanitarian principles, and giving more operational control to a party to the conflict would risk aid not reaching the vulnerable people who actually need this aid the most.
Israel's grounded aid campaign in Gaza has since killed more than 52,000 Palestinians, most of them civilians, according to local health authorities, and have left much of Gaza in ruins. Heavy rains in the municipality of Itago in northwestern Colombia claimed the life of one person after they caused a mudslide that left destruction in its path. Sunday night and the early morning of Monday, a strong storm caused the Los Olivares Creek to overflow and a current to go down the streets carrying vegetation and vehicles in its path. National media reported that one person died and another was injured in the area. In Itagüí, authorities declared a state of public calamity, reported that at least 35 families were affected in the municipality. Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso helmet Griffin Garnett won his fifth game. The New York Mets held off the Arizona Diamondbacks 5-4 in the Phoenix on Monday. Alonso's two-run homer off Arizona started Ryan Nelson gave the Mets a 2-1 lead in the fourth inning, and Lindor's three-run shot off Ryan Thompson in the seventh stretched it to 5-1. Alonso also singled 5 for 11 with 4 homers and 8 RBIs in his career against Nelson. Josh Nallo had an RBI single and Eugenio Suarez single in 2 runs to close the deficit to 5-4 after Daniel Nunez walked the first 3 batters in the 8th, but Reed Garrett stranded runners on second and third with 1 out on a strikeout and a foul out to preserve the lead. Edwin Diaz pitched the ninth for his 8th save in as many chances. Alec Thomas reached an first baseman Alonso's throwing error to open the inning, but Thomas was called out attempting to steal, a call upheld by a replay review, and Diaz retired the next 2. Corbin Carroll homered and had 2 hits for the Diamondbacks, who have lost 3 of the 4. The teams were meeting for the 4th time in 8 days after playing a 3-game series in New York last week. Nelson gave up 2 runs and 3 hits with 4 walks and 2 strikeouts before leaving after hitting Lindor with 1 out in the top of the 5th. Nelson, who threw 4 hitless innings of relief against the Mets last week made it first start of the season in place of Corbin Burns, who was skipped because of his right shoulder inflammation. Burns is expected to make his scheduled start Friday. And that's the news this hour. Thank you very much for joining us. I am Barry Kumo Ado.
Welcome to another interesting episode of From the Correspondent on Signature TV. Get ready for another episode of stories behind the headlines from our reporters who share their experiences on the field. I am Emmanuel Tewasi, your host, and on our lineup today we have many interesting stories lined up for your viewing pleasure. First of all, we'll bring you the World Press Freedom Day, which was marked on the 3rd of May, focusing on AI in journalism, its opportunities and challenges. Then we'll go to cuts, visits and collaboration between AFIA and Signature TV to deliver quality service to the Southeast region. Then we'll look at issues of financial gambling in Nigeria, particularly the losses from the CBEX Ponzi scheme, which would form part of our discussion later in the show. Then we'll look at the call by labor union in ENUGU State for the ENUGU State governor to implement the new minimum wage. Then we'll also bring you the introduction of the door-to-door collection of refuse put in place by the ENUGU State Waste Management Authority. All this and more will come your way after this break. Stay with us.
Every second, every minute, every day in your pocket.
The world celebrated World Freedom Day on May 3rd with the impact of artificial intelligence on journalism and media taking center stage. This year's celebration highlights the growing role of AI in journalism, presenting both opportunities and challenges for media freedom. Let's take a look at this year's celebration.
World Press Freedom Day highlights the importance of press freedom and freedom of expression globally. It was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in 1993, following the recommendation of the UNESCO's General Conference. The press freedom is closely linked to human rights, particularly Article 10 of the European Convention on Human Rights and Article 9 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. This year's theme, Reporting in the Brave New World, underscores the importance of AI in journalism, particularly with the content creation, translation, data analysis, and fact-checking, as well as its attendant risks and challenges such as fake news, misinformation, and cyberbullying, among others. A veteran media practitioner, Christian Maduka, notes that traditional media is giving way to new trends, with AI playing a significant role.
The first question is, why should the press not be free? Who is afraid of the freedom of the press? Who is afraid of the society where the press, at the fourth estate of the ring, has been given the responsibility of reporting what is happening in the world? So whoever is afraid of that is a suspect. And that has been the fight all over. There are two sets of restriction of freedom. The ones that the journalists have put on themselves because of fear of what they suffered in the past. And the one that is there, if you report, you are dead. The coming of AI has become a threat both sides. But it comes with potentials and a lot of benefits because it's technology. For the ones who are now supposed to be threatening, because the same as big threat, that's the people at the establishments. They're not safe with AI because there's nothing they do now that they will say is the traditional media that is. Because they are not safe with AI because even the citizen journalists who are everywhere with their devices can report anything. You find the most secret things in government places leaking.
Chioma Ude, a legal practitioner, emphasizes the need for accurate and transparent reporting, ensuring agreements between parties.
It's very, very important that the World Media or Press Day is today, and I will also encourage them that they should try as much as possible to sieve and be sure about the information which they carry about, because it's not all about carrying the information but carrying the right information. If the information that you're carrying is wrong about a person, that person can actually sue you for infringing on his or her own rights.
An online media practitioner, Dr. Ifunanya Eke, believes new media trends should be accommodated as they provide a platform for voices to be heard.
Bloggers actually need that freedom because we're actually the ones that get the first sight information in the field. We're sometimes available at where we're needed, and the journalists or social media or the co-registered bodies are not there. So most times when we have this news firsthand, we now help broadcast this information. So getting people aware is actually what we do. So it's important to, give us that freedom because we need it. Our journalists, information is free, and because we are first-hand in the field, we can all reach out to each other, try to get information as when necessary. But in as much as while we get that information, there are prior things we omit in the field, like safety first. Sometimes you get into an accident scene, and instead of trying to save the situation, you're just making videos. While we do that, we should just keep checkmating that moral discipline actually helps.
As new media continues to shape the media landscape, it's crucial to balance innovations with responsibility, ensuring press freedom and freedom of expression are protected. The World Press Freedom Day celebration serves as a reminder of the importance of a free press in promoting democratic values and human rights. Chinemerem Ikebunam, Signature TV News.
Welcome back. The management of Afia Television and Signature TV agree to work together to deliver quality service and coverage to the southeast and south region of the country. One particular thing that is so significant about this partnership is the fact that this is the first time we're having this kind of partnership where two media outfits are coming together to partner to grow the talents, indigenous talents in the region. This was made known when the Chief Executive Officer of Afia Television paid a courtesy visit to the ENUGU corporate headquarters of Signature TV in Thinkers Corner, ENUGU.
The ever-evolving media industry is getting more complex and challenging, with running costs heading towards the rooftop. The challenge is even more with the television station, which requires more complex, sophisticated and expensive equipment to run. But Afia TV, the first privately owned regional TV station in the southeast after the default Minat Systems Television and the Signature TV, have agreed to collaborate and go into strategic partnership for the mutual benefit of both organizations. According to the Chief Executive Officer of Afia TV, Emeka Mba, such a collaboration and exchange of ideas will help strengthen their presence in the media landscape for greater success. Mba emphasized the need for innovative thinking in the media industry, particularly in the Southeast region, for survival and growth.
So having conversations around such thing is very important for us, whether it's Afia TV and I dare say for Signature, that both of us have some understanding if it's around security or insecurity. Telling stories like that, I mean, just an example, if the two biggest media organizations within here were to say, okay, let's investigate this thing and have a common, I think people will like, okay, for these two platforms to say this is a joint special report or investigative report, I mean, then it will travel much further. How we can work together to have more access is good and break the barrier. And also, I think what is even more important is that the people looking at us from the outside, that they understand that, yes, we compete in the same market, but there are things we should fight for.
The President and Chief Executive Officer of Signature TV, Vim Martin Obiorilo, who appreciated the visit by the Afia team, recalled his tenure as a member of the board of the National Broadcasting Commission after Mba had served as its Director General, where he left a good record. Ilo, who stated that Signature TV is in ENUGU to collaborate with and complement rather than compete with Afia TV, suggested that the two stations should engage in joint and commercial projects to raise revenue for both stations.
I've been asked in a number of places, especially when we came, they said, Afia was there, what kind of relationship? I say it's complementary. We are here to complement each other. To add to, we are here to collaborate. There's no competition. The market is so big that if we sufficiently sensitize our people, some of your business, you don't be just like the hotels, it's overbooked, so you look for your neighbors. Yeah. But come, help me put people here. But we need to jointly work on the psyche of our people. So I think that we need to collaborate. I don't think there's any governor or any businessman that will see you and I and some of our colleagues that want to visit them and talk about what we are doing, and they will say, we get out of here. And we should also use what we have to get what we want.
The president of Signature TV, Vim Martin Obiorilo, later took his visitors on a tour of the facilities at the station and later presented some items to them in appreciation of the symbolic visit. The coming together of Afia and Signature TV and their commitment to partnership rather than competition has a lot of promise for the media landscape, the audience and the region. This will no doubt ultimately boost the fortunes of the two stations that have committed themselves to telling the Southeast story in compelling ways. In ENUGU, Ugonna Owalo reporting for Signature TV.
Another Ponzi scheme has crumbled, this time it's CBEX. Life-saving gone, and yet still some claim they cashed out big as the dust settles on the CBEX Ponzi schemes losses. Correspondent Nasir Usman took to the streets of Abuja to find out why Nigerians seem so to financial gambling. Nasiru would be joining us via Zoom to to talk about this Ponzi scheme, particularly why Nigerians, against all odds, keep falling victim of such dubious schemes. Let's look at that report.
Recently, the collapse of CBEX, another Ponzi scheme, has sent shockwaves across Nigeria, leaving many investors counting their losses, while a few people claim they made money.
All right, we'll bring you that report later on. Let's take Nasiru. Nasiru is joining us via Zoom from our Abuja studios. Nasiru, can you hear me? Welcome to the program. It's a pleasure having you once again on the show.
It's my pleasure. Good afternoon.
All right, Nasiru, thank you so much for joining us on today's segment of From the Correspondent. And there is a pressing issue on at hand, the issue of get-rich-quick syndrome, the quest to make money in a hurry, looking at, first of all, the economic situation and how the hardship is taking a toll on Nigerians. A lot of people, for victims, a victim of this Ponzi scheme. Please, Nasiru, can you tell us what this whole CBEX thing is all about? What is even CBEX, if I may ask, Nasiru?
Okay. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. You know, this CBEX is a Ponzi scheme. It's a trading platform that defraud a lot of Nigerians. And many people are still counting their losses up to today, whereby they invest in the Ponzi scheme CBEX, thinking that they will get multiple income within a short period of time. And to be fair with you, a lot of Nigerians cash out on CBEX, but those people that cash out are not up to those people that lost their money, because a lot of investors are still crying and are still in shock why such thing happened. Because the thing goes like this, that it is those people that invested early that they were able to cash out on time, because a lot of people know that this thing is a Ponzi scheme, but they still want to invest in it. They bring referral, they will ask other people, okay, this is a trading platform, you get, just put this, within 30 days your money is going to double. And you know, this kind of thing is going like that. A lot of people are falling victim into it, and the shock wave is still ongoing in Nigeria, and a lot of people are counting their losses, whereby they were shocked that CBEX is going to collapse so easily like that, because CBEX started in 2024. Let me just take what I jot down here. It started in 2024, and after receiving the registration approval from the Corporate Affairs Commission on September 25, 2024, and the EFCC Special Control Unit against Money Laundering on January 16, 2025. So the scheme collapsed in 2025. That's in April last month, leaving thousands of Nigerians still helpless and counting their losses. You know, they are still shocked that this thing is going to happen like this, and whereas some are celebrating why they invested in CBEX.
All right, Nasiru, thank you so much for that insight on CBEX. We've seen the wave of this kind of schemes. We had MMA, we had some other ones quite prominent, which people invested a lot of money and ended up disappointed. But before we come back to why we have these trends occurring frequently in Nigeria, we'll take a look at your report or your conversation with Abuja resident on this particular issue. Let's look at that report. We'll be right back shortly.
Recently, the collapse of CBEX, another Ponzi scheme, has sent shockwaves across Nigeria, leaving many investors counting their losses, while a few people claim they made money. With financial scams on the rise, we took to the streets of Abuja to hear Nigerians' thoughts.
Why invest in something that will always crash? Something that they tell you it is the early birds that benefit from it. Unfortunately, Nigerians will still try. Most Nigerians would say there's this street slang. Most Nigerians will say, at all, I wish. I will not go, no. No life without risk, something like that. You must always take risks. If I make it, I make it. If I lose, I lose. We try again. So they will keep trying all of those stuff. CBEX is a Ponzi scheme, like you said. All these pyramid structures will always collapse. It's not a wise investment decision. Like I told my friend the other time, he was telling me to invest in the same CBEX. And then I told him that the interest they are giving you is too much to be realistic. It's going to crash.
So me, as far as I'm concerned, no matter how much people made from that things, I can't put my money because I don't even believe on it. I don't believe on it. I'm not going to do it, and I can't do it.
I wouldn't put my money on Ponzi scheme because it's against my moral ethics. Because I don't. If I want double up my money, I put it in a bank of fixed. So of course, Nigeria will still keep on falling in that situation, and it's as a result of greed and poverty. But then, as for me, I can't fall a bit. If I want to double my money, I do business or put in a bank. I've heard of CBEX. Even prior to that, I think I've heard of also MMM, Twinkers, and something like that. So yeah, I've never invested in anyone before because before I do such a thing, I have to, as I said, I have to verify and know the source of where they come from because I know that people want to get rich easily. But before you start doing such things, make sure your instinct. Number one is if your instincts aligns you. Not that people that do their instinct, but you say that maybe because of the nature of the land or because of maybe they don't have much, they have to now venture everything that they have. But before you do such a thing, think twice before you do something so that when it happens, you commit, you as if you should not commit suicide.
Personally, I would never, because at the end of the day, it's a Ponzi scheme. Anything a Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme, doesn't last. It dies over time. There are other things I know you can put your money in. Just go ahead and do it, rather than put your money in a Ponzi scheme.
I would never try it. I've never even done it. Even MMM and the rest, I never did that. I'm not a fan to Ponzi scheme. Anything I don't have control of my money in, I don't invest.
That's the opinion of Nigerians. From the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Nasiru Usman for Signature TV.
All right, welcome back. You're still watching From the Correspondent on Signature TV. We are discussing the CBEX Ponzi scheme that have left many crying and regretting why they invested their hard-earned money into that. And joining me via Zoom is Nasiru Usman, our correspondent from Abuja Studios, who is giving us insight about this whole Ponzi scheme and his discovery why he was working on a report concerning this. Before we get back to Nasiru, let's take a look at what the ENUGU State Waste Management Authority is planning to do to reduce waste, indiscriminate waste disposal and manage waste in the state by introducing the door-to-door collection of refuse and eventually phase out refuse dumps in the state. The acting managing director of ENUGU, Richard Onaga, disclosed this when he granted audience to the management of Signature TV, which paid a courtesy visit to the headquarters of the organization in ENUGU. Let's take a look.
The ENUGU State Waste Management Authority, ENUGU, has as its core mandate the maintenance of a clean and healthy environment. This it tries to carry out by implementing effective waste management practices that eliminate environmental threats and foster a greener, more livable ENUGU state for all its residents. However, these efforts are being frustrated by scavengers who now throw away the refuse in the Eswama dumpsters and do away with them. There were several dumpsters right at this location in front of Signature TV office on Alo Street, Thinkers Corner, ENUGU. Unfortunately, the dumpsters have been stolen by scavengers, forcing residents and other people to throw their trash on the ground. The result is what you are seeing here right now, a roadside littered with refuse. Receiving a management team from Signature TV, the acting managing director of Eswama, Richard Onaga, disclosed that the organization has lost several other dumpsters to unscrupulous scavengers.
What we are doing now is to find a lasting solution to this demeanors of these scavengers. You see them, you can pass some areas, you see that the waste bins are empty, but the floor is littered. Scavengers. They come at night, put their hand, pick up the bags, trash it on the floor, because they are looking for recyclables. So the government is working on a permanent solution to eliminate these guys.
But as a way out, Eswama has procured some tricycles which are now being assembled at its corporate headquarters for eventual deployment for door-to-door collection of refuse. Onaga believes that apart from solving the problem of illegal dumping of refuse on the streets, the issue of stolen dumpsters will also be a thing of the past.
The strategy is to go on street-wide door-to-door collection, whereby you don't need to go to the waste point to dispose of waste. All it means to us is that you will see public waste points. You go to your house with a tricycle, pick your waste bin, pick your waste, put it in a tricycle, and go and dispose to the big waste dump. This door-to-door collection is the way forward for us to eliminate all the potential challenges associated with waste, illegal waste disposal. So, which we are already working on. We already have 10 tricycles. When we are having 30 now. So, before 15th of next month, we have a tricycle assigned to Thinkers Corner. With no of two. They go street by street, picking from households.
The Eswama boss, who disclosed that the street collection will commence by the middle of next month, also said the authority is introducing 25 cubic meter waste bins that will be kept in strategic locations for refuse collection. Head of Program Signature TV, Chris Madoka, said the purpose of the visit is for the two organizations to work out areas of collaboration that would be mutually beneficial to both organizations.
We felt that we have something we can use to help your job. That's publicity. And we are offering that. Since that time, I made him an offer. We struck very cordial relationship. He waived us our monthly payment. And we are giving that as part of publicity. And sending your people or you, when you have time, to come and speak during before the monthly arrangement.
The visit is one in the series intended to build partnership with organizations and bodies in ENUGU and the Southeast as part of its mandate to be the mouthpiece of the people and engender development in the region. I am Favor Nwachi for Signature TV.
You're still watching From the Correspondent on Signature TV, and today we'll be beaming our light on the rising concern of Ponzi schemes in Nigeria with our correspondent from Abuja studio, Nasir Usman, who did a report on that, and we've already started discussion with him on why these Nigerians often fall victim of such Ponzi schemes. We have MMM, we had an MBA, then now CBEX, and each time such schemes come up, we get people who we find people who have fall victim of this kind of schemes. So Nasiru, back to you, if you're still listening to me. Nasiru, are you there?
Yeah.
All right, so Nasiru, if you're listening to me, CBEX, you've been able to give us the background of what this whole CBEX scheme means. But then again, a lot of public outcry and media reports, including EFCC, the Financial Crime Commission, which has weighed into the matter and is investigating this issue. We've seen reports, media reports, where they have trailed this particular person who is in charge or who introduced this to Nigeria, to a particular country. But why this investigation is still going on? We also saw media reports where that says that they have resumed oppression in Nigeria. They have continued their oppression despite these issues that people raised. From your finding, what is the true state of the CBEX team or the investigation so far from what you found out on the field?
Okay, just last week, the head of the EFCC, head of media reports, Dele Oyewale, if I'm not mistaken, said the commission is still investigating the CBEX. And he said there's one national and one foreign national, Eli Bitar, a 41-year-old man. The commission has declared him wanted because he also is involved in the fraudulent activities that happen, which is being linked to the CBEX. And a lot of Nigerians have been arrested already concerning the CBEX, and there are some of them that willingly they went to the EFCC headquarters that, okay, we're involved in these investigators so that they will be clean and the commission will do justice to Nigerians by providing relevant information that, okay, this is what they are doing. And from the EFCC spokesperson, he said the commission is still doing everything possible to make sure that they track this money and those people that are brought to justice. And they are cautioning Nigerians that Nigerians who love free things, anything that is free, Nigerians love it, free money, anything that is free. So they are urging Nigerians that anytime there is anything like about this Ponzi scheme or anything that Nigerians find irrelevant or unnecessary, Nigerians should not invest in it, because a lot of investors are still counting losses, just like I've said earlier. And it's not the fault of EFCC, it's not the fault of the CBEX people. The CBEX, their own is just to introduce what they have, and it's now left for Nigerians to accept or to reject it. If you look at that vox pop that I did, majority of the people were saying no, they can't invest in CBEX. Anything that you bring two people to get this, invest and bring money to, I will add it up, or maybe after 30 days, your money is going to double. I will not involve myself in it. A lot of Nigerians still have the orientation that, yes, anything that is Ponzi scheme, anything that is not my own, anything that I did not do, I did not sweat for, is not going to last, or it's not going to, they're not going to invest in it. Why a lot of people were like, if another cryptocurrency or another trading platform is out today, they will still invest in it. So those ones, that is their own mindset, that yes, that is what they want to do. If the cryptocurrency or trading platform is being introduced 100 times in Nigeria, they will keep investing in it, and they don't mind the consequence that is going to happen. As long as they invest in it, they believe they are going to get profit at the end of the day. Why a lot of Nigerians believe that no, as long as I did not work for it, as long as it is not my sweat, as long as it is not my legal money, this is my money, but it is not in a legal way, there's no way I can invest in it. So a lot of Nigerians are optimistic that whenever such thing happen again, they're not going to do that. For instance, and just like the MMM that you mentioned, MMM was introduced in 2015 or 2016, I'm not mistaken, by Russian-born people. And it was happening, it was going, and all of a sudden it crashed. And a lot of Nigerians were crying that they lost their money. And to their biggest surprise, another Ponzi scheme was launched. I think it was in 2017 or 2018. Still the same thing, a lot of people invested in it. Now we have the NDA, we have the Loom Nigeria, now we have the CBEX. A lot of people invested in CBEX. In fact, there's a musician that I know, I won't mention his name. He was even singing it on the live stage. He said his friend introduced him to CBEX and he invested 10 million naira in it. And Before you know, the CBEX collapsed. Everything has gone. So he himself is not as if he's not business oriented, or he doesn't have the knowledge. He has the knowledge, but someone has influenced him that, okay, why can't you invest in this? You get double your money. Imagine for someone that has 10 million and invest in CBEX, thinking maybe after 30 days he's going to get maybe double or triple of that amount. Now imagine just an ordinary Nigerian that invested maybe with 100,000 or 200,000 naira. You know, a lot of people are cashing out. To be sincere, a lot of people are cashing out in it because sometimes they use some influencers that, okay, come and advertise this thing for us. Those influencers already know that, yes, this thing is a Ponzi scheme, it's going to crash at the end of the day, but they're after their own profit. They, okay, do advertise for, they advertise for them, and they get their own money. Even those people, they invest in it, but before you know, they withdraw their money and leaving those Nigerians, those are followers that are follow them, that have think, yes, this CBEX is true. Yes, so person has advertised it for us. So person is fan of it. So person is supporting it. A lot of people crash. A lot of people, in fact, a lot of people die. A lot of businesses collapse because of this CBEX. So I'm calling on Nigeria to make sure that they do the best thing, and the EFCC that are still investigating the issue, they are doing their best, because they are warning a lot of Nigerians that they should not invest in it. They should make sure that they invest in a legal way, and they should desist from getting free things that come from foreign people or foreign country.
Cyril, the thing is, you can't stop people from trying to survive, looking at the way the economy is and the hardship that is affecting all of us. I must confess that some years back, I also was a victim of something similar, but then EFCC coming out now to tell Nigerians to be careful of the kind of schemes or the investment they make. It's kind of unsettled, because the government has an agency that is responsible for regulating schemes or investment or platforms such as the CBEX, the MBA, and all of those ones we've had in the past. But then we keep having one experience, then another one, then the third one, the fourth one, and more or less the media just carry it. After that time, it dies down. I want to believe that EFCC didn't hear about CBEX the first time when the whole thing went south. CBEX gained a lot of traction in the media, on Twitter, and a lot of people invested in it. So I don't know at what point are we going to, as a country, at what point are we going to be proactive in putting up measures that will prevent such kind of incident from happening, because we've had it way too many times. I can mention about 3 or 4, and another one will still come after CBEX. So which government agency is responsible for this kind of action? What do you think can be done in order to stem the tide? Because it's so unfortunate that in the face of biting and very harsh economy, someone would take his or her life savings hoping to get a return, which for me it's an act of greed, only for the person to get disappointed. So you've already mentioned that a lot of people died and all of that. How can we stop this kind of thing from happening over and over again?
The regulatory agencies should do their work. The EFCC, Security Exchange Commission, SEC, even though they frown at this Ponzi scheme of a thing, they regretted that a lot of Nigerians invested in it and it's happened this way. So one other thing is that I think a lot of people invest in it or do this kind of thing because of the mindset that they have. Yes, they want to do this thing. I believe I can get it. I believe more money will come if I invest in it. But to some Nigerians, they don't have the knowledge. They don't have the orientation. So I believe this is one of the work of the Nigerian or National Orientation Agency, NOA, to make sure that at least they inform Nigerians, they educate Nigerians, they enlighten them about some certain things. This is also another call for the EFCC and SEC. At least they should bring out some adverts, or they should bring out some jingles or some kind of information that they will inform Nigerians, they will educate Nigerians, they will let Nigerians know that yes, whenever there's anything like Ponzi scheme, you people should not invest in it. They should desist from it. If there's anything like that, you can report to the EFCC. Just like you said, the Ponzi scheme gain attraction on social media, on WhatsApp, on Instagram, on X. And I believe these anti-graft agencies, they're also on those media or social media outlets, and they must have seen what is happening. A lot of Nigerians must have been promoting it. Yes, do this, don't do this. I think that was the time that those commissions should have do something like enlighten Nigerians. Okay, oh, don't invest in it. This thing is a scam. If you invest in it, you are on your own. So I believe when the security agencies, some anti-graft agencies did that in the first place, it will be like a wake-up call to Nigerians that this particular thing is a scam and they won't invest in it. But since the anti-graft agency that should do the work kept quiet till when the thing happened like this, that a lot of people lost their investment. In fact, some Nigerians have to go to their headquarters in their head office in Ibadan. They cut away their properties, some things that they saw in those in their office. So that shows that Nigerians were not happy with it, and a lot of people found it so difficult and unbelievable that CBS crashed at the end of the day. I believe Nigerians can do better. And one other thing that I found that is causing the issue of this investing in Ponzi scheme or investing in trading platform is because they think or they believe they get double money. So poverty is one of the things that is affecting us as a nation. If our poverty level has reduced drastically, I don't think there is anyone or the people that we said they want to stake their money. It's just like Bet Nigeria, for instance. Now you say, okay, there's the match. Let me just say this thing over 2.5 or Google or first half Google or something like that. It's not something that it will happen. It's just like you are just trading your money on it. You are just trying to gamble. Will it work? We don't know. Will it not work? You don't know. You want just to gamble it, and at the end of the day, if it works, fine. You celebrate, you be happy. And if it is the other way around, you'll be causing the team, or you'll be putting all the blames on the team that made you lost your ticket. So now it is a wake-up call on Nigerians on
Nasiru, I really appreciate your insight. Because of time, we would not want to go beyond this. But then again, May 3rd was World International World Press Freedom Day. In 30 seconds, what is your take on the reality of being a journalist on the field in 30 seconds before we'll let you go, Nasir?
Okay, concerning the World Press Freedom Day, I believe the press, to some extent, enjoys some freedom of press or freedom of expression, but I believe the Nigerian government can still do more, because in some cases, you find out that the journalists or the press are harassed by other security agencies, by ministries and agencies and the rest, because sometimes the journalists will need some information that is very critical, that is very vital, but at the end of the day, they not provide it to them. So I believe we still have a long way to go concerning the media press freedom in Nigeria.
That has been Nasiru Usman from our Abuja studio, who spoke to us about the Ponzi scheme known as CBEX, which have made away with a lot of people's fortune, life savings and investment, if you would want to call it. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you very much, Nasir.
Thank you for having me.
And back to our stories, the Labour Party in Enugu State has yet again lost another high-profile member to the ruling party, People's Democratic Party in the state. The member representing Boise North and Odeno Federal Constituency under the platform of Labour Party, Dennis Abo, announced his defection, which took place at the PDP State Secretariat GRA in Enugu. Let's look at how that event went.
The Nigerian political landscape has continued to witness a wave of defections almost 2 years to the 2027 general elections. Some political watchers have attributed the development to the unseen hands of the ruling party, both at the federal and state levels. The latest defection in Enugu State is that of Dennis Abo, who before now was a member of the main opposition Labour Party in Enugu State and member representing Igboeze North and Udeno Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. Abo said his action is in response to the call by his constituents who want him to close ranks with the state governor, Peter Mba, an arrangement which they believe will be for their greater benefit. He said that